Welcome to the Chairman's Perspective Podcast. Chairman.
Hello and welcome to the Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kazukian Network. My name is Lee Eric Smith. I'm one of your hosts, joined as always by the chairman of the Shelby County Commission, Mr. Van Turner, and we have a special guest in the studio today, don't we, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, yes, sir. We have a very special guest, none other than Mayor of West Memphis, Arkansas. Mayor Marco McClendon is in the house. We're so appreciative that he came across the bridge to come sit down with us here at the Kazukian Network. Mayor McClendon is doing great things in West Memphis, Arkansas. And as they say sometimes, he's boxing above his weight. A 30,000 populated city, can a 30,000 populated city make a great change and turn the corner? And I think they are doing just that. Am I correct, Mayor McClendon?
You're absolutely correct on that. You know, I know you made the boxing analogy. I remember, I think it was the Glenn Jones guy that fought one of the boxers. He said, I may not be the best boxer, I'm just willing to fight the best.
I hear you, Mayor. We have a lot of great things to talk about, and I'm just so excited to be here with my co-host, Lee Eric Smith. What do you say?
Absolutely. It's going to be a great show. We're going to get into the relationship between West Memphis and Shelby County, some of the development that's going on there, a lot of the innovative and exciting things that Mayor McClendon is working on in West Memphis. And we're going to tell you about that time he worked on a garbage truck. All of that and more on today's Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kazukian Network. Don't go away.
The Chairman's Perspective on the Kazukian Network.
I'm Cynthia Daniels, host of Grind Set. Are you looking to start a business? Do you need tips on how to scale up? Get it on Grind Set. On this show, our guests will keep you listening. What's your Grind Set? If you happen to miss some of our episodes, make sure you check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast provider.
Grind Set on the Kazukian Network.
Kazukian! The Chairman's Perspective on the Kazukian Network.
And welcome back to the Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kazukian Network. I am one of your hosts. My name is Lee Eric Smith. The other is none other than the chairman of the Shelby County Commission, Mr. Van Turner Jr. How you doing, Chairman?
Doing well.
And we have a special guest joining us in studio today. He is none other than the mayor of West Memphis, Arkansas, Mr. Marco McClendon. And Mr. Chairman, I understand you. It's my pleasure to meet you for the first time, Mayor. But
thank you,
Mr. Chairman. I understand you've known this man for quite some time.
Oh, a long time. Ever since I really got into politics, probably about 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
We had a mutual friend, Howard Richardson, who's no longer with us. He was a union boss back in the day, and we used to meet over his home. And then now we share Diane Withers as a mutual friend who keeps us engaged and keeps us in contact with one another. So at the time, the mayor was a city councilman for West Memphis, and he was pushing to be mayor. And this is the example of hard work paying off. Because I think he ran before and didn't make it, but he just ran again and he made it. So to all our listeners, the rule of thumb is never give up, always go after your dreams. And I know that Mayor McClendon is living a dream now, being the new mayor of West Memphis. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be amongst you gentlemen. It's a blessing to be here. We're looking forward to doing some great things in West Memphis.
Outstanding. Tell us a little bit more about yourself for people who aren't familiar.
Well, actually, I was elected at the age of 23 years old, the youngest city council person in the state of Arkansas in a first-class city. Served on city council for 16 years. I previously ran for mayor 8 years ago, was unsuccessful. Just ran currently in November and was elected and became mayor of West Memphis, the 13th mayor of the city at 40 years old. Yeah.
And I know that you've already kind of, for lack of a better term, shaken some things up over there. Can you just, we'll get into that a little bit more in detail, but just kind of give us an overview of what your first, few months, this opening period of your term as mayor has been like.
Well, to be real quick, I'm turning the impossible into possible, turn the no's into yes, and where we can into yes we can in West Memphis.
that covers a whole lot. We're gonna get deep into that. So, I wanted to ask you about what your vision is. When you came into the mayor's office, obviously the city was in a certain where it is now, but you have a pretty bold vision for making the impossible into the possible. Kind of share a little bit more about your vision for West Memphis.
My number one goal has always been to improve the quality of life for the people of West Memphis. I think West Memphis has many opportunities and advantages that has been overlooked. And right now, what I want to do first, take advantage of those opportunities economically, recreational, the whole 9 yards to make West Memphis a better city that will attract new individuals as well as the people that are living there. That calls it home, make it better for them as well.
Mr. Chairman, I know we have talked previously about the relationship between Memphis, between Shelby County and the surrounding areas that, are in the tri-state area, Arkansas, Mississippi, of course. I wanted to get your perspective, Mayor, on the relationship. In some ways, West Memphis is competition to Shelby County. In other ways, it's got to be a partner. Wanted to get your thoughts on that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, well, I think that's absolutely correct. Having partners throughout the region, I think, is very important. I mean, they don't call us the Mid-South for anything. And that comprises, of course, of Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi. West Memphis is an integral part of this region. When you enter into Arkansas across the Big M Bridge, as we like to say, you enter into West Memphis, Arkansas. In fact, when my wife and I lived downtown, when we first moved back into the city, we would actually go over to West Memphis to shop. It was quicker to go to the Walmart in West Memphis than it was to go out east to the Walmart. And so just little things like that, I think, really makes us united, and it shows that we are connected regionally. And I think that when West Memphis becomes strong, it doesn't mean Memphis becomes weak. It means we become stronger as well, because we are attracting people into this Mid-South region, and they can come and live in West Memphis, come and live in Memphis, and we could live, work, and play and raise our families in two great communities. So I view it as something that when West Memphis pushes to become stronger, they push us to become stronger. When we push to become stronger, we push West Memphis to become stronger. And the net benefit is that both cities do well.
I can agree more. I think we so jointly connected. I mean, even in our MSA, we always are counted together. And like I said, this is Memphis. We in West Memphis. And like I said, we closer to downtown Memphis than most of Memphis is closer to downtown Memphis. But the chairman is exactly right. We have to continue to work together, because we could never compete with Memphis. Memphis is our big brother, and we want to do everything that we can to support Memphis and be an assistant to Memphis, and anything they can do to help us be stronger, because all the assets are here, and we just want to be a part and extend our hand in the way that we can. Right now we have the Big River crossing, and most people downtown can walk right to West Memphis, as well as West Memphis can walk right to Memphis. So we being that close, I mean, it's only no more than right that we be close to have a better relationship and being able to help. And like I said, Memphis is our big brother, and we definitely want to serve and do anything we can to help them be successful, because when they're successful, we are definitely successful. Other cities around Memphis have shown when Memphis does well, they do well. And it's just time for West Memphis to work harder to join hands with our big brother as well.
Excellent. So there are some areas where it seems like the synergy is more natural. Other areas, I know sometimes, so one of the things that comes up typically in conversations about this particular market is, if a big company wants to relocate to the Mid-South or is considering the Mid-South, do they come straight into Memphis? Do they go into North Mississippi? Do they go into Eastern Arkansas? Where are the tax benefits and all of that? So I know that there are some ways in which there's a little friendly competition, but there are other ways in which the synergies are more obvious. Can you kind of, either one of you, take a shot at that? But before you do, though, you are listening to the Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kadzukian Network. Mayor?
Well, first of all, I want to say I think that West Memphis and Memphis is closer than many people think, because right now you have so many people from West Memphis that actually works in Memphis. You have so many people in Memphis that works in West Memphis, teachers, the whole 9 yards. So, I mean, we closer than what most people think. And I mean, with us being so close, and especially with I-50 and I-45, I-40 and 55 being right there in West Memphis, the gateway to everywhere. Whether you're going up north, the east, south, the west, it's there. And I just think it's no more than right that we join economically to make sure that everything works out for the best. And the reason why I said it, because you have so many families that's living in both cities, working in each other's city. I mean, why not we be closer?
Yes, it's like March Madness. So if the University of Memphis is not in, then I'm a Tennessee Volunteer all the way, right? And if Tennessee Volunteers not in, then I'm just going with the SEC. And so I think that if we can't land the company here in Memphis, I want West Memphis to get the company. Yes. Because what does that mean? That means that if a company is in West Memphis, they're coming across that bridge to go to the Grizzlies game. They're coming across that bridge to go to the Orpheum Theater. They're coming across that bridge to go to Beale Street. So I'd much rather have the company, if it cannot be in Memphis or Shelby County, to be in West Memphis as opposed to being on the other side of the state. So I think that you're right, it is competition. But if we cannot land the company, I would much rather West Memphis land the company, because they are so close in proximity to Memphis that we can't help but benefit from a new company landing in West Memphis. So I wish Mayor McClendon much success in the renaissance, bringing about the renaissance of West Memphis, because bringing about the renaissance of West Memphis will help us do what we have to do to improve our downtown and our core areas of Memphis as well.
You know, one of the things that I think about is, we're talking with two significant leaders here in the Mid-South. A lot of times we hear a conversation about, a real strategic regional plan that crosses across municipalities, crosses across state lines. I don't know what the status of that is now. I know, previous leaders in this area have tried to work on that, but it seems like there is new energy with new leadership on that issue. Is there any kind of either informal or formal effort to kind of get all of the municipalities, kind of at the same table?
I hope to do that soon. I'm willing to reach out to Mayor Strickland, the council, as well as the Shelby County Mayor, Mayor Harris, as well as the chairman and the rest of the council. The chairman, the commission. I definitely want to work with Memphis and the surrounding areas, because actually A.C. Warden invited several mayors from surrounding cities to St. Jude. And we had an opportunity to talk over there, preliminary, not anything serious, but just being around with the other cities' mayors that having the same issues that we really face. All of us face pretty much some of the same issues. And I just think having a connection to be able to work with each other, bounce certain things off of one another, would definitely be good. So I'm definitely open. And like I said, we are West Memphis. Mm-hmm. I think that's so important, because I know other cities have their own name, but we Memphis, and we just west of Memphis, So
that's right.
Yeah.
But for the Mississippi River, West Memphis perhaps would be.
Yeah, probably will be here.
part of the city. And I might add as well, I don't know where I was or what was going on, but law enforcement personnel all convened, and it was probably just, for public safety. But I recall the top law enforcement officials from West Memphis, DeSoto County, other areas of West Tennessee, of course, Shelby County and Memphis, all convening together. And I don't know what the topic was, but that just lets me know that there is already synergy between Mid-South officials, in particular with this law enforcement issue. All the surrounding counties all convened at this one point to discuss this one topic. And again, I can't recall what was going on, but there is already sort of a history of Mid-South officials working together. We just have to expound upon it, and as the mayor has articulated, really be intentional about it now. And I'm glad that we have such a young, dynamic mayor. He just turned 40, I think I heard him say. So he has plenty of time to bring about that change, that innovation, and that renewed vigor and energy for the Mid-South region coming together and working together and becoming a regional powerhouse.
That's indeed true. And I know that you have some new capital projects. Offline, we were talking some about some of the capital projects.
Sure.
Can you kind of set the context for that? Because it's been a while since new buildings have gone up.
Exactly.
In West Memphis, correct?
Yes. The last city building that has been built in West Memphis was in 1974. I wasn't even born at that time.
1974 was the last time
a municipal building from the ground up has been built in West Memphis. But this very year, we're getting ready to build 2 new fire stations, a municipal courthouse, a new library and innovation center, a new municipal courthouse, and doing some major renovation on our sports complex and a few of our parks. So we got over 7 different venues that are going to be worked on, as well as our city hall, our Eugene Woods Civic Center, and our great auditorium that we just did a major renovation on as well. So we got about 10 projects that we got going on just this first year, not mentioning many of the economic opportunities that's on its way that we have sealed the deal on.
There's a Chick-fil-A coming to West Memphis.
I'm so happy about that. You know, they say it's easier to get in Harvard than to get a Chick-fil-A in your city. And we blessed to have one that's getting ready to break ground pretty soon.
So a lot of development going on in Crittenden County and also in West Memphis. Oh, it's all kind of stuff we got to get to. There's so much, so much that we have to talk about, both with the chairman of the Shelby County Commission, Mr. Van Turner, and our special guest today, Mr. Marco McClendon, who is the mayor of West Memphis, Arkansas. When we come back from this break, we're going to dig into the weeds a little bit, because one of the main things, and I wanted to save this for our next segment, is we're going to talk about that change in the law that means that gaming is coming, like real casino-style gaming.
Yes.
It's coming to the west side of the Mississippi River. We'll get into that. We'll get into a few more things, but you are listening to The Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kadzukian Network. We'll be right back after this.
The Chairman's Perspective on the Kadzukian Network.
Jazz, America's own original musical art form. When did it start? Who were and are some of the major players? How do you distinguish what kind of jazz you're listening to? We talk about the great and lesser-known artists, songs and tunes, the instruments, and the social impact jazz has had on world culture since its beginning at the start of the 20th century.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kadzukian Network. Kadzukian!
The Chairman's Perspective on the Kadzukian Network.
And we're back on The Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kadzukian Network. I'm Lee Eric Smith, joined by the chairman of the Shelby County Commission, Mr. Van Turner Jr., and our special guest, the mayor of West Memphis, Arkansas, Mr. Marco McClendon. When we went to break, we were setting up the fact that, well, first of all, you've got a lot of projects cooking already on the municipal side. Mm-hmm. And I have to imagine the fact that all of those projects are kicking off have something to do with a change in laws that'll bring real casino-style gaming to West Memphis. Mayor, you and I have kind of floated, what that transformation might mean before. Kick it off.
Yeah. So the investment that's announced is $250 million to expand the Southland Gaming Park, and the proposed economic benefits associated will make West Memphis a major player in the gaming industry because of I-40 and I-55. So this changes the game. People oftentimes say, or they want that moment where they can look back 50 years from now and they can look at the McClendon administration having been the leader of West Memphis, and what was it that changed the game. I don't know if this would be it, Mayor, but certainly it would come close to it. And I'm giving you a little shade, because that means all those Memphians are going to be coming across the bridge to do what they supposed to be doing. The preacher tell them don't do it, but they're going to be doing it anyway. They ain't going down to Tunica. They coming over to West Memphis. How about it?
Well, first let me say I want to welcome my big brothers from Memphis to come on
I'm
over
sure
there
you
to enjoy.
You've been very welcoming.
Yeah, to enjoy themselves. But let me say this: that $250 million investment that Southland invested in West Memphis is the biggest tourism investment ever in the state of Arkansas.
The whole state,
the whole state in tourism. Wow. Of course, in tourism.
Wow.
And what Southland is going to do with this investment is not only just good for Southland, because if you look at the numbers, Southland is. I'm not going to say. I'm going to say Southland giving Tunica a time right now, and that's always good for our economic vibe. But let me say this: that $250 million investment have allowed it to spur other economic investment into West Memphis, because over the last year, over 3.6 million people visited Southland and came to West Memphis. Also, with 40 and 55 right there, you have an average of 60,000 people that are traveling through West Memphis every day. So when I look at that, I said, well, hey, what do a business owner and investor want when they come to West Memphis? They want a body, and they also want to meet a need. And then West Memphis has been a glass of water that's half empty. But I look at it as half full. So right now what I'm doing, I'm aggressively going after industries and other businesses to come to West Memphis because we have what they're looking for. I mean, I have to be kind of discreet on this, but we have 2 manufacturing companies that's getting ready to announce really soon that's going to both together bring over 400 jobs to West Memphis. That's not including the 400 jobs now that Southland is getting ready to bring. That's 800 jobs. As well, the new Chick-fil-A and the new Matchbox is also going to fulfill the need. Also looking into getting into the shopping, the strip mall scene that would hopefully get Tangler Mall a little run for their money as well. I mean, since everything coming from back that way to West Memphis, why not West Memphis? So it's a lot of economic opportunities that are coming. I know you talked a little earlier about the marijuana dispensaries. We have 3 of those, and hopefully we're going to use those tax revenue to help fund our transportation project that we got coming up real soon. So it's a lot of great things going on. The construction of the new municipal buildings, that really didn't spur from Southland. Those are things that we should have been. I must give the former mayor credit. One thing he did do was keep us financially sound. So our bonds and bond ratings and being able to borrow money was great. And we are one of the only cities around here, along with Memphis, that owns its own utility department. So that's been a great feather in the cap for us, if I would say. And just a lot of good things just going on right now. And I just think there's some things just happening at the right time. And I just think that I'm the mayor for this time.
When I was growing up, I grew up in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and I remember when the casinos first came to Tunica, and how that just, because I mean before that, I mean it was just you could almost drive right up to the river because it was nothing but darkness over there.
Exactly.
You know, and then you see all of this development begin to pop up, and it creates a whole economic engine. But the knock on Tunica has always been that it's, you know, however many miles away it is from Memphis. But to have something like that literally right across the bridge, Mr. Chairman, I mean, that's a whole different ball of wax. You
know, we were just in Nashville lobbying, and Mayor, it'll be funny for you to know that the county commission sent a wish list up to Nashville, and part of the wish list was for us to have sports gambling on Beale Street to sort of compete with what's going on in West Memphis and Tunica. And it just made sense that Beale Street is a hub of nightlife and entertainment. You have the Grizzlies Stadium, or the Grizzlies playing next to us at the FedEx Forum next to Beale Street, and so people could come and be on Beale Street and bet on games. And I don't know if it will take hold in Nashville or not. But the issue here is that I want West Memphis to do so well that the next time we go to the Tennessee General Assembly and the next time we go to Nashville, we can say, I told you so. Because our argument now is Arkansas and Mississippi are going to kill us if we don't jump on this tourism and this sports betting and this gaming bandwagon, because it's happening all around us. It's creating jobs. It's bringing infrastructure. It's attracting millennials and young people into the city. And this is just something that we have to do in order to compete. And I get the religious aspects of it, and I think that there are things you can do to sort of buffer it. I mean, we're not trying to have all this take place next to the church. or all of this, somehow become a negative influence with our young people. But we are saying that if people are going to enjoy themselves and experience a nightlife, we most certainly want this to be something that adults who are careful and who are taking care of themselves and taking care of business and doing the right thing can come out and enjoy and have a good time. And that's all we're simply saying. So hats off to you, Mayor, and hats off to what you're doing as far as Southland. I think that this is wonderful, and it's good, again, to have such new, young leadership be at the helm of what's going on and what's, I think, going to make West Memphis a great area for years to come.
I think Memphis is a great city, and I think Memphis is great, and it's blessed with a lot of opportunities, and I'm just hoping the people of Nashville say, well, hey, your little brother that you can walk to that city, let them handle the sports book.
You're listening to The Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kazukian Network. Offline, we were talking some about the ways that you've been able to set an example of leadership. And I don't want to give it away. I want you to tell the story of that time that you went and picked up some garbage.
All right. What I did, I wanted to get in and find out what all my employees was doing. I think it's very important. If you're going to be a leader, you need to have an understanding of what they deal with, and what they need, because there was a lot of concern with our sanitation department. So actually for a whole week, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, rolled with the front end loaders, looked at the commercial part of sanitation, as well as I did some of the grapple trucking, where they went out and picked up big pieces of appliances and furniture. Then the last part of it was doing the rear end loading part, because still in West Memphis, we actually go in backyards and pick up trash.
Wow.
And bring them out. And actually, I placed that uniform on, went up and picked up trash. And, people were like, that's the mayor in my backyard picking up my trash. I said, yeah. Because one of the things I want to show to my city, and I don't call them city employees no more, they're our city family members. We family in West Memphis. Everyone that comes to work for us, we family. And I'm working right now to make sure that everybody in our city make at least $14 an hour. To make sure that they can provide for their family. Because I want when they come to work, that to be sound, they're not having the worries, and they're able to provide for their family, come and do a good job for the people of our city. But actually, I'm picking up the trash, dumping it, and I gained a whole nother level of respect for those men and women who was going out there. And actually, when I done it was a little cold. But I can imagine during the summertime when it's hot and you got maggots and mosquitoes and, certain people just throwing things in the trash, not in garbage bags, doing it the wrong way. It gave me an insight of what they go through, as well as a better way to help our city get cleaner, inform and educate the people of our city. So picking up trash, and it just showed them that I'm not going to ever ask them to do nothing that I wouldn't do. Since then, I have gathered up as far as 60 feet with our utility department on a utility line.
So you've gotten, okay, so for the listener at home, just to be absolutely clear, Mayor McClendon has put on the sanitation worker uniform and worked the back of the truck.
Yep.
And I'm hearing you say now that you climbed to the top of a pole as a utility worker.
Utility? Yes, sir.
I have to imagine that creates a certain level of energy and loyalty and morale with the city employees, not just the ones in those departments, but across the board.
Across the board, even at City Hall. First, I worked with the wastewater. We got out and we had some manholes when it was a little flooding with all the raining. I got with them as well. Even in our City Hall, if you walk in our City Hall today, it doesn't look like it looked in 74. I came in and redone all the offices, we painted doing the floors, getting new furniture. In our City Hall, we had furniture that had been there since 1974. I wasn't even born in 1974. That's how long it's been there. And my thing with that was this. I'm going to ask, for instance, Chairman Turner to come and bring $1 million business to our city, but he walk in and say, I want to invest a dime in my city, but I want to convince him to invest $1 million in economic development here. No, so I want to make sure when people walk into our area, my economic development team and everyone that's involved, they feel comfortable. It's like putting on a new suit. When you put on a new suit, you look good, you feel confident, and when you walk in our City Hall, all of our family city workers, they feel confident, and they know that we're going to continue our winning streak, because we look at everyone and say, why not West Memphis?
Mm-hmm.
That's
absolutely great.
Yeah, he's been making a lot of comparisons about how well, you're not waiting on businesses to, figure out that something's going on in West Memphis. You're taking it, even with all of the development that's coming with, Southland Gaming, you're taking an active role of courting, new businesses to come into town.
I mean, that's for our city to move forward. Like I said, it's so many things that we don't have. You look and say, and I love my big brother, but let me say this. To go to a movie theater, you have to come right through West Memphis. That's Marion, Errol, Terrell, Crawfordville, Ford City, Mariana, Helena, West Helena. You have to come through West Memphis to go right across the bridge to go to the movie theater. And I said, once again, why not a movie theater in West Memphis? Why not these restaurants in West Memphis? Distribution. Okay, right there in West Memphis, we have the river ports. You can get on the Mississippi River. You can get on the train, the Santa Fe, the Northwestern train line. Matter of fact, the Ride Tiger Grant, we just invested $25 million to be able to take a barge off of the river to place on our railroad so you can go through the railroad. 55 and 40. Anywhere. That's the gateway to everywhere right there in our city. And then our big brothers have FedEx, so we less than 12 miles away from FedEx. So why not West Memphis be a great distribution hub, or at least assist our big brother here in Memphis in whatever needs they can, and we'll take the crumbs. I'm not too big to ask for those things because I understand that economics change people's lives. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be aggressive, progressive. I'm willing to go talk to everyone. I don't have to be the big person. I just want to make the people of West Memphis see that we can be great. Our city is going to move forward. And I want other cities to understand that we are at the table now.
Man, that is absolutely wonderful. Brother, you inspiring me. Mayor McClendon. I think it's really poignant to point out that you can walk with the prince as well as the pauper. And I think having that touch is what's going to make you a great mayor. And as I stated before, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, when they look at the success of West Memphis, I think they're going to have to start out with what you're doing today in West Memphis to make it a competitor for the other great cities in Arkansas, as well as those cities which surround you in Mississippi and Tennessee. So, again, hats off to you. We appreciate what you're doing. A strong West Memphis, again, will make a strong Memphis. And so we are so thankful for all the great work that you're doing. This has been a very inspiring conversation with you, Mayor, and hopefully others will check for you now.
Well, it's something else I want to say that I add because I understand that it's nothing that I do in West Memphis, I do it alone. It's the people around me, and I said to them, our city family members. At every council meeting now, I give away 2 to 3 different awards to individual that's working for us. And just acknowledge them and say thank you, because it's that fireman that runs in that building and when we running out. It's that policeman that's putting his life on the line. It's that sanitation person that's picking up their trash that we may ride by, or just a simple person that's answering the phone for city. It takes all of us. And when West Memphis come, it's not Marco coming, it's us coming. It's we coming. We together. It's no more individual. It's no big eyes and little you. It's none of that anymore. It's us, because I love the people of my city. I love my employees. I try to do everything right by them, and I just truly believe I'm a man of faith, and I keep God first. And as long as he stay first, and he told me this, he said, as long as I be for you, it's more than the world against you. So I just want to do everything right. I want to be an ambassador and an advocate for our city. I'm born and raised there. I think if you cut me, I believe West Memphis. So look out for West Memphis. We coming, and Memphis, we want to join and not be a competitor. We just want to be a young brother and let us sit at the table, and we want to work and be in the way of assistance that we can be to Memphis. Like we talked about the Memphis and May thing. West Memphis never came out to Memphis and May. Chairman, let me make sure this clear. Memphis and May reached out to West Memphis. Mm-hmm. And when Commissioner Holt, I think Mr. Holt, sent me the specifications, we met all of those. Mm-hmm. So for the comments that have been made, and I think I told you, it's kind of hard for you to be mad at me because the girl next door is knocking and we answer the door, Mm-hmm. So we just want to be in it, be a part of Memphis and May if we need to be in assistant if we can be, but we just want to be, like I said, that young city next door that just willing to help.
His name is Marco McClendon. He is the mayor of West Memphis, Arkansas. and we are grateful to have had you on the show today. We'll be back after this on the Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kazukian Network. Don't go away.
Hello, this is Marco McClendon, Mayor of West Memphis, Arkansas, and you're listening to the Chairman's Perspective, powered by the Kazukian Network.
R&R on Sports is proud to be on Sirius XM.
So what's R&R stand for?
Real talk and relevant sports issues.
It's racial and relative. We're brothers from the South. We can relate.
R&R on Sports on the Kazukian Network.
Well, I think this has been such a great show. I think we are just so moved and inspired by the story of Mayor Marco McClendon, how he served as a city councilman. I was at his inauguration. He talked about always wanting to be mayor, always having this as a dream of his. And now he's finally here. And ladies and gentlemen, he's taken every opportunity to let you know, to let the world know that West Memphis is coming for you. He's going to be the best mayor that West Memphis has ever had. He's prayed up and he's ready to fight for West Memphis, Arkansas. And we join with him in his cause and in his fight to make West Memphis a great city. Because when West Memphis becomes a greater city than what it is, I think that only means that Memphis and Shelby County will become greater as well. What do you say, Lee?
Well, I agree, man. And one of the things I enjoyed in our conversation today with Mayor McClendon was, I mean, he's just such a upbeat, positive, kind of guy. And when he started telling that story about, well, first of all, about being on the garbage truck and going through all of that, and then even getting up on the utility pole, I couldn't help but think about how that would endear him not just to his workers, but to an entire community. So best of luck to him and everything that they're working on.
Well, there you have it, and thanks for visiting with us today. I'm Chairman Van Turner Jr., and this is my co-host,
Lee Eric Smith.
And we will be back with you next time here on the Chairman's Perspective on the Kazukian Network. Thank you.
The Chairman's Perspective Podcast. Executive producer, Shelby County Commission's Van Turner. Hosted by Lee Eric Smith. Recorded at Kazukian Studios. Directed, produced, and distributed by Kazukian.